I believe it was last month I told you guys that I was going to start doing some lifestyle videos. And if you follow me on my Instagram, I will put links below to all of my social media platforms. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have noticed that I've been doing a lot of cooking. And my mom and my cousin, my mom just got an air fryer, and my cousin is thinking about getting an air fryer or an instant pot, so that she can kind of like do a bit more variety to her cooking. And so this video is kind of for them, to give them some ideas of quick ways that they can do videos. But what I've started doing is I have started doing pre planning my meals. I've started pre-planning my meals, and I've been using my instant pot, my air fryer, my crock pot, some things I've done in my Dutch oven, and a few things I put in my oven. So I thought I would give you kind of an rundown of how I go about doing some of those meal preps. So stay tuned, and you'll see like a series of videos. I think I did it over a 2-day period, of how I meal prep for the week. Sometimes I do it on Sundays, sometimes I do it on Mondays. Most of the time it's like the main meal, like the meat. But there are at least 5 different recipes. There's not really measurements. I kind of cook by sight. And so, but they might give you some ideas of how you can prepare some meals in advance so that during the week you don't have to do as much cooking. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That actually helps me to for YouTube to see that people are watching my videos. If you have suggestions for future videos, let me know. I will be doing a planning video. I'm not sure if it's going to be before this video or after. You'll just have to stay tuned to see. Okay, so I'm kind of in the mood to do a little cooking, so I thought I'd do like, I'm gonna prepare like 5 meals over a period of a couple of days. And so I thought I would share. I have some chicken breasts. I've cut them in half because they're so thick. I'm going to use my deep fryer. My air fryer, not my deep fryer. Gave up deep frying a long time ago. And I just thought I'd show you what ingredients I'm going to be using. I'm using a little bit of Creole seasoning. I've got some canola oil because I'm out of olive oil. And I love rosemary on my chicken. And I'm going to do garlic, onion, and black pepper. I won't be adding any salt, only because I'm using the what is this, Tony Cacture's original Creole seasoning, and that's got more than I need, and I'm only going to be using a little bit of that. So I'm trying to figure out where I can set you guys up so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, and then hold on. So I have you guys sitting, well, I have you guys facing my countertop, and I'm going to show you what I do. So basically I take a like it's like a beverage pitcher. Can you see that? And I put a Ziploc bag in it, and I put my chicken in here. Yeah, you can still see that. And so I'm gonna add, why do you still have, the pepper still has the little paper in it, so I gotta get that out. And that means my husband took it and he just took the whole top off when he was using the pepper. So anyway, so here's just plain old black pepper. Put a little bit of that in. And a little bit of onion powder. I use onion powder and garlic powder and everything, especially if I'm like using the fryer, because I try not to use too many wet ingredients. And sorry guys, I don't really measure. And then I'm going to use the Creole seasoning. And that right there is all of that I'm going to put in there. But as I add more chicken, I'm going to add more pepper. My husband loves pepper, so you'll see a lot of pepper in my recipes. We really don't use a lot of salt. That's why the Creole salt, I'm not putting any more in there than that. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Add just a little bit more. I feel like you can never have too much garlic and pepper. I mean garlic and onion powder. Garlic powder and onion powder. I do not use garlic salt at all. I put enough pepper in. That should satisfy him. Now I'm going to use the rosemary. I know it's backwards in the camera. That's rosemary. And basically I just take a pinch of rosemary, dip it in, maybe one more pinch, dip that in. I love the smell of rosemary. Okay, and then I am using canola oil. I would usually use olive oil. Wait, let me see, do I have, I might have just a little bit of olive oil left. So I do have a teeny bit of olive oil left. So I think I'm going to use that instead. I don't know what it is about olive oil and rosemary. I keep telling my family we must have been Italian in another life. Okay, so that is that. I'm not adding any salt. Let me get these out of the way. All right, so can you still see? Yeah, you can. Okay, so then what I do is I take that bag. So that this is kind of like my hands-free thing. Let me get some tongs. All right. So you can either take this bag and you can put it, like, mix it up and put it immediately in your air fryer, but it is 1:58. My husband is not here right now, and so we're gonna have this for dinner. So what I'm basically gonna do is just kind of keep stirring it together. You might have seen me do something similar with chicken wings. If you watch my birthday fail video, I did the same kind of recipe with chicken wings. So I'm probably just going to take this, let the air out, and put it in the refrigerator and let it marinate. And then that will be for this evening, and I'll probably serve it with potatoes and some type of vegetable. I just don't know what vegetable yet. So anyway, that is that particular meal. Okay, so the next meal that I'm going to do is going to be, it's, okay, how do I explain this one? It's a meal in a tinfoil pocket, basically. And I got this recipe from watching Grandma Griffith, which I talked about her and her husband in my favorites video for May. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So basically, my husband likes, is this tilapia? No, this is mahi-mahi. I don't eat fish, so usually I fix this for him. And then I have some Italian chicken sausage, and yeah, I'm gonna make my meal with sausage, with the chicken sausage. I'm also using Caribbean blend. Can you see that? I wish I had a better setup, but I don't. But anyway, it's a Caribbean blend, and it's got like broccoli, green beans, red peppers, yellow carrots, And I think it has squash in it. I was recording this, so I'm showing you the chicken sausage that is going in with my cut up potatoes. I put that in a foil sheet of foil, and then I'm going to be adding my frozen vegetables. They don't have to be defrosted. And I think I did like 3 handfuls of that, and I didn't have to put any oil in because it actually, I guess the steam from the packet will keep it moist and it does not stick to the bottom of the foil, which I like. The less oil I have to use, the better. And I think the next thing you'll see is I am going to be putting some seasoning on it. You will see me, I'm about to add the onions that I cut up. I didn't make them small. I have little chunks of the onion. I like my onion cut up fairly big when I put it in the oven. So here I am cutting up the onions, and the next thing should be the seasoning. I did break up the onions a little bit so that they wouldn't be too big of a bite. Here I am about to add the seasoning, and I'm using Mrs. Dash, the original blend, and I just shake a little bit of that on just to give it the vegetables a little bit of flavor. And to give it a little kick, I'm going to add some red pepper, just a little bit. It does not need to be a lot. If you don't like spicy food, you don't have to add this part to your recipe. And then I am going to set my oven at 450, and I'm going to set the timer on my phone for an hour. I've tried doing this at last time and it does not work for me because my potatoes do not cook all the way. So here I am creating like a little tent, and I'm going to fold it under after I get it together and tuck it under, and then I'm going to fold it all the way to the end, and then I'm going to fold the ends in towards the food so that creates like a closed pocket. And then I'll take this and put it in the oven. Here's the finished product for my sausage in the foil packet. And this is me showing you how I stop the air fryer halfway through so that I could check on the chicken. And I usually turn it over. I think in this I changed the time for which I had it on to this is a Pampered Chef steamer, and I use it to do my mashed potatoes. I've had this steamer pot for quite a while, and I do know that they do have a new version, and basically I just put the potatoes in the pot. I fill it with some water. I put it in the microwave, and it has like little vents at the top, and I put it on for usually 8 minutes in the microwave, and that steams them really well. And then usually all you have to do is mash them afterwards. This is me turning the chicken over, the chicken tenders that I'm making. Because if you don't do that, then as you can see here, only one side of the meat will actually crisp up, and you really don't want that, especially if you're doing chicken fingers. I think in the end, I ended up leaving these in a little bit too long. So the next time I would adjust my time again and not leave them in as long because they were a little too dry. Okay, so these are the potatoes after they've come out of the microwave, and as you can see, they're very, very soft. And usually what I do is I will kind of mash them with a fork. I leave the skin on my potatoes, but you can take the skin off and use it that way. And then after I mash them up in the pot that I'm using, I will add some seasoning to it. In this case, I use Mrs. Dash. I also added a little bit of pepper because my husband likes pepper. I used half and half, and I added butter to it, and then I will kind of mash it some more with all the seasonings. Oh, and I even added some garlic to it, and then I used my masher and mashed it up. And this tool is awesome. I use it for mashing my potatoes now, but I also use it for mashing my meat when I'm cooking it. And as you can see, here are the finished chicken tenders, and I served them with a side salad with the mashed potatoes, and that was really, really good. It's meal prep day. On this day, it was a different day from the original part of the post. I was meal prepping 5 meals, and I used my Instant Pot, I used my crock pot, and my fryer. In my crock pot, I have a roast beef with green peppers and onions, and I put a little bit of beef broth in it, and I seasoned it. And this is ground beef for spaghetti or for to put in like burritos. And I added onions and red peppers. It's a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and garlic and onion powder. And this is me chopping that up with my chopper that I love. I will put a link to that below. And let's see. This is the finished product for that. I just bagged it up and put it in the refrigerator, and then when I want to, I will add my homemade sauce, spaghetti sauce to it. I also use my air fryer, so I season chicken wings. My husband is on a chicken wing kick, so I season these to fix later on in the week, and I use some Creole seasoning. I use some olive oil and some rosemary, and I coat both sides with it. Then I wrapped it and stuck it in the refrigerator. This is my attempt at making my own garden lettuce, and I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, ground beef is done. I will probably use that in spaghetti with my homemade spaghetti sauce, or I will put some on and make like homemade burritos. So that just has onions and peppers. Oh man, I forgot to add a little garlic, but I did add garlic powder and onion powder and salt and pepper to taste. So that's ready to go. And I'm using my trusty new cast iron pot, and I love it. Alrighty, in the crock pot is a roast beef, and that's on slow cook. I've got onions and green peppers. I put a little bit of beef broth in it, and I seasoned it with some Creole seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder. You'll see I use that a lot when I'm cooking, and that's just going to be in the crock pot on high for 6 hours. Then that will be done. And now my Instant Pot is done. I put it on manual for 45 minutes, and I let it release on its own. So now I'm going to open it up and see what it looks like. The Instant Pot has a pork loin in it, and I just put a little bit, I think I put 1.5 cups of water because I want it to be really moist. I put rosemary, garlic powder, onion powder, teensy bit of salt and pepper, And that is done. And then what I'll probably do is slice it and then stick it back down in the juice so it can stay moist, and we can have that either tonight or tomorrow for dinner or for lunch. But that is 3 meals completed. And then I have the chicken wings in the refrigerator, and what I will probably do with those is whenever he feels like he wants some chicken wings, I can just stick that in my air fryer. So that is like I said, so that is a pork loin roast, beef roast. I have chicken wings. I have ground turkey. I have ground beef. I usually use ground turkey, but I had some ground beef, so I'm going to use that. I've got homemade spaghetti sauce. I'm going to do some sides after I've cleaned up all of my appliances that I've used, and I'm probably going to do some mashed potatoes again. I'm probably going to do some mashed potatoes. I'm probably going to one day this week I'm going to do the fish and sausage in the foil bags, and that will take care of our meals for the week. And what we'll probably do is we can eat off of this for lunches as well, so I can slice it and fix it at lunchtime. We can do it with a side salad. We can do it with rice, which I also do in the Instant Pot. Is really easy to do it in the Instant Pot. And then I have steamed vegetable bags that I use, but this week I have some zucchini and squash, so I'm probably going to stir fry that on the stove and serve that as a side dish. And I may even make some pasta salad. I also have coleslaw and potato salad in the refrigerator, so I'm kind of covered for the week. And it took me less than an hour and a half to put all of the meats together, season them up, and get them ready for the meals. So that is how I meal prep. Sometimes I do it on Sundays, sometimes I do it on Mondays, or sometimes I do all the meats and then I may do the side dishes when I've served the meat, or I may do some of them ahead of time so that if my husband needs or wants to eat something, and let's say I'm just having one of those days where I'm not feeling well, which was what happened to me last week, and we did not eat as well as we could, so I was determined to get up today and do something about that. But I mostly did this so that I could share with my mom and my cousin, so that they could have some fast and easy meals to do. My mom just got an air fryer. My cousin is thinking about getting an air fryer, although I think she might do better with an Instant Pot, or maybe use more crock pot recipes, because she I think if she can just put the items in the appliance and then leave and walk away from it, that's a little better than an air fryer, because with an air fryer you got to check it halfway through. So for breakfast I'm going to be doing eggs and bacon and possibly potatoes, and I would do my potatoes in my air fryer, and I may even do like an omelet or a quiche. I may do a quiche for like later in the week, and if I do, I'll show you how I do that too. I hope that gave you guys some ideas of things that you can do with your Instant Pot and with your fryer, or even with your Dutch oven. I know that it has helped to make cooking for me a little easier, and planning it in advance really helps me not to be rushing at the last minute on the day of, when I have to fix something. I can just pull something out of my refrigerator or out of my freezer and prepare that meal for the day. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you want to know when the next video will come out, all you have to do is hit that little notification bell below. So until I see you the next time, have a blessed day. Bye.